I used to think that the hardest part of building something was the work. But no, I don't believe that anymore. I actually think the hardest part is waiting. What I thought success would look like. I honestly thought that when I get started, it wouldn't take me a long time for me to have my channel monetized and start making some income on YouTube. And especially when I started to scale from 3 videos per week to 5 videos per day to even 10 videos per day, I remember those days when I used to think that, man, if I could make 100 videos per month, if I could make 150 videos per month, I would be making X amount of money. And so I began to scale, and I honestly thought that the more I release more videos, my channel would get monetized fast. My earnings would skyrocket very quickly, and I'll be making thousands of dollars right now on YouTube. I literally believe that when I started out at this current point, my life would be on a whole different level. But that's just what I thought. But reality turns out to be the total opposite. The reality of waiting. You see, guys, you can put in all the work, make the best videos that you think you could possibly make, and hope for the best. I'm not saying that you cannot put in the effort and make the best possible videos and somehow gain results. You can, but there's just this part of building something, whether it's creating a YouTube channel or building whatever business that you're building, that just somehow feels out of your control. Why? Because you're not just building something for you just to get the result. It's not just 1 plus 1 equal 2. It's like 1 plus 1 equal whatever the audience or whatever the customers or whatever and however people will respond to you. And that's just the harsh reality. In my case, I could make loads of videos. I could make the best videos in the world, put on my YouTube channel, but still it seems like it was out of my control because somehow people responded differently, or I may think that YouTube didn't push out my videos, or YouTube just think that the way how people respond to my videos, they would push out that video, or that video would be successful based on that. Or simply, I just have to wait. And also, not to mention that there can be thousands of other creators that make similar videos just like this. And so it may take time for me to get some attraction on my videos. But that's just it. And so you can see there's just that part that is just out of your control. But that does not mean that you should give up. That means that you should just continue to go, continue to grind, continue to do all you can, and just have a bit more patience. Another thing we wait for is those subscribers. I remember I was watching my subscriber count, watching to see how much subscribers I get today, how much subscribers I'll get within a month, how long it will take me to reach 1,000 subscribers. Man, I remember those days. And sometimes even today, I look at my subscriber count. But you know, when you reach monetization and you start to make some money from YouTube or start to make a pretty decent money from YouTube, you don't really put too much emphasis on subscribers anymore. Of course, you want to reach that 50,000 subscriber milestone or those 100,000 subscribers or even a million subscriber milestone. You want to achieve that, but you don't pay too much attention to that so much like in the beginning when you're trying to reach that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. For some, especially myself, I remember those opportunities, waiting to see if I would get any sponsorship deals, and maybe just sometimes watching the progress. Open up my analytics, open up the YouTube studio on my phone and just keep checking to see how every video is progressing, how every subscribers are coming, how long it's taking, how the videos are blowing up or failing. Just watching the constant progress every single day, every single month. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the more you look at this is like the longer it actually takes. But there's also that level to it where you would just see the small progress or the small wins and you feel good, and now you start to put yourself at estimated time how long this could take. And sometimes you just feel like it's taking so long to reach monetization on YouTube or in whatever business you are currently doing. I know by constantly checking your progress, especially if you have some goal that you're trying to achieve, it can feel long. It can feel long, especially if you build that timeline in your head and feel like, yeah, this is by then I should reach this. And yeah, you might think that it's just taking longer than expected. When doubt starts talking, this is really one that bugs me forever. Even today, I'm still being bugged or still being struggling with thoughts of doubt. But more so in the beginning when I'm trying to work harder, trying to double down on effort to try to reach monetization, see no views coming in. And I know that if not all YouTubers, they'll be able to relate to this. And if you're building any other business, it doesn't have to be YouTube, you are gonna have those doubts as well. For me, I had the doubts, am I wasting time? Am I good at this? Also comparing myself to others, and especially when I'm watching other YouTube videos and see other content creators are sharing their success story, or they're telling you how fast they blow up on YouTube, or you may look at other content creators in your specific niche as well, and you may look at their channel timeline and say, oh, they've blow up and they're making so much money in this specific time, how this content creator is doing so well, or oh, my video is much better than this content creator, so I should blow up faster. And when you don't see these results, the doubt can really creep in and make you question whether or not you're good at this, whether or not whatever you're doing is working, and if you should continue or if you should just give up. What changed my mindset? I think what really changed my mindset was my big why. And also the fact that I'm working a full-time 9 to 5 job. There are days when I just feel like this is not how I want my life to be the next 10 to 20 years. Or when I finally came to the realization and say to myself, I can be working in this job for another 10 to 20 years and I might not get a decent pension, or I may not be able to eventually buy a house for my family. Or I always dreamt as a kid that when I get older, I would like to drive a Range Rover or something like that. And knowing to myself, I will never be able to do this working a 9 to 5 job. Maybe I'll be able to lease it, but at the same time with the responsibility of paying rent. When you're paying rent and you know that rent normally take up more than half of your monthly salary, and you have to think about food, and if you're a person who is married or you have kids, you have to also think about them. The one salary, the one income, it will never cut it. And so you'll realize some of those childhood dreams that you have, or what you want to achieve as an adult for yourself, for your family to feel somewhat of a success in life, you may not be able to achieve this because of this one income. And it's just the harsh truth. That's how society set up for us right now with inflation, and you're not getting much increase in your salary. It really makes it hard. And these things I reflect on. And for me, I'm just gonna open and share something real personal. In my current full-time job, I would say the company is somehow trying to reach to break even over the last couple of years, right? And because of that, I haven't received a yearly bonus for the last 3 to 4 years. Believe it, I haven't received a yearly bonus. Some people may receive 13 salary, but some of us, other people working in other companies, are receiving yearly bonus. And I haven't received that. And you've been fed this story year after year after year. Oh, make it look like you will get it, but then when it comes down to that time, you're that different story that we didn't achieve this and we can't do it. And it just become a norm for me. And with all of these other things that I discover and came to realize, I just realized this is not what I want for my life. I am truly grateful for my job. I am really good at it and I am doing well in the job, but I just know that this will not get me to where I want. It will never allow me to achieve the things that I want in life. And so I had to find another solution. And yeah, these are some of the things that make me really keep going, make me just decide that I will continue to build and grow my YouTube channels, even when I'm not seeing any results now. And I said to myself, if I'm going to work for somebody for the next 10 to 20 years and not achieve the things that I want in my life, why can't I find a few hours per day or maybe a few hours per week to dedicate to something that could potentially change my life if I dedicate the time to this in the next 10 to 20 years? Because guess what? The reality is that this time is going to come anyways. So if I can be dedicated and work for someone for the next 10 to 20 years or not being able to achieve the things that I really want, why can't I do that? And I said to myself, why would I do that to myself? I'm going to do it. And so these are the things that make me keep going every single day to record my videos, to edit my videos, to publish my videos. Even when I'm feeling exhausted, tired, feeling not motivated, feeling sick, I still find a way to get over those feelings and do what I have to do because I know that I want to achieve this. Why waiting is actually part of the journey. You see, when people are building things, myself and for anyone out there who is actually building something, it doesn't have to be YouTube, it could be whatever business. You normally want fast results. And here's why. It's not only the fact that you may look at other people who do the business and see they're achieving such results. Sometimes the drive comes from something that happened in our life, or some would say or discuss moment, that moment that led to us really took the action that we took at the time to really start some business. Because a lot of us, if not all of us, procrastinate for some point in time in life before we actually make that step to start a business. And so most times you reach to that point where you had that discuss moment where you literally decide and find the courage to take the action. And in that time, there can be some kind of desperation of wanting results now to change your life. And so when you get inspired and you start to build and you start to see some little result, or you start to look at other creators or other people who are building the business and you see that they've received some level of success. And not to mention, if you see people who are out there sharing their success story and may make it look like you can achieve this really quick, you set up that false timeline in your head and you start to expect results really, really fast. But in reality and truth, the people who actually succeed and achieve success are the people who continue to build and to grow even when they're not seeing any results at the moment. They know that, guess what? If I continue to do this, in time, I will see results. Because in truth, if you're passionate about something and you're continuing to build and to grow, it's going to be almost impossible that you're not improving. And with improvement over time, you're going to get better. And over time, you will achieve and see results and you will achieve some level of success. But sometimes people don't have that patience and sometimes people don't see things from that perspective, right? But these are the people who do it anyways, continue to build, continue to grow, even when they don't see results. They just continue to go, continue to grind. So guys, if you're in the season where you feel like nothing is happening, I would encourage you to keep showing up anyways. Because sometimes the biggest thing you're building isn't your business, or it isn't your YouTube channel. It's actually the person you're building or the person you're becoming while you wait. And that's one of the things that I'm starting to realize as I continue to grow, as I continue to develop, as I continue to build my business while working a 9-to-5 job. And the journey continues. So if you're a person who are in a similar position just like myself, building whatever business, I just want to take this moment to say, continue to build, grow, and continue to have courage. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you when I release my next video.